Hey guys, we're back.
We're back, and we've got the Lightning hooked up to the Airstream.
And of course, one of the first things we want to do is see how much range it has pulling our Airstream.
We're just going to go take it for a little tow, kind of a little test, and see how it does.
Similarly to what we did with the Regen, we're going to do a 55 mile an hour test, see what the consumption is, and then we'll be able to closely calculate how far we can go. And then that also helps us get a baseline, because obviously if you go a little bit faster, it's going to reduce the range, and if you go slower than that, it's going to increase the range. So I like that as a baseline. We got it all hooked up and ready to go. There are some things we'll show in either this video or another video, all the hooking the trailer up, because it gives you a good idea of how far they think it'll tow, all that stuff. It does state in there that it will get a better guesstimate the more that you tow with it. So that'll be interesting to see how that evolves over time.
Yeah. And we'll link the video in the iCard for the Regen towing this same 30-foot Airstream, so you can see the comparison on the Lightning versus the Regen.
All right, should we get going?
Let's go. Oh yeah, the automatic. Super nice.
When you're on tow haul mode, it takes away one pedal driving. You have to use the brake, so I'm not sure what that's about. It doesn't even say Regen's working when you press on the brake, so.
And we want Regen when we're towing.
Yes, we're gonna
see how level it is.
Should we go down here, or is this good?
I think this is good. Okay. Yeah, I think the trailer's a tad bit high.
It was a half-inch taller
in the Regen. I mean, it's darn close. So we got Regen.
Yeah, so I don't know if you have to hit over a certain mile per hour, because that was the first half walk from our house, and we weren't probably even doing over 10. So now you can see when I'm pressing on the brake, it is regenning.
Yes, good.
So much better. It still is. I know that that's going to be what a typical truck person wants, but for somebody that's used to electric vehicles, I think that the one pedal while you're towing is better. So
you want the Regen because it acts as like almost like an engine brake. You know, it has that so that you're not relying completely on the brakes to stop the truck. You've got the Regen helping you with that too. It's always interesting to see how different manufacturers display your energy usage and consumption and stuff. So this is what we get when we're in the Ford. So it gives us the miles per kilowatt, and that is about all she wrote.
Your time, how far you went, stuff like that. I didn't think that this was going to allow you to do lane keep assist while towing. I thought all that stuff was disabled while towing, but it is. Lane keep assist is working on the highway at least, so I guess that's something different than what I thought was going to happen. So
I mean, initial thoughts, I actually think I am feeling it slightly more in this than I do in the Regen. Bouncing almost, but maybe that's more of the truck not having the air suspension than anything else.
Could be. I mean, Regen, you put it on stiff.
But I mean, would you agree that you feel it a little bit more?
The bounciness, that's all. I don't feel side to side at all.
No. Well, it's still saying 1 up here. We got 1 mile per kilowatt hour right now. Just to update you on the weather, because we know that that's important, especially when you're towing with an EV. It looks like we've got winds at about 6 miles an hour, 9 mile an hour gusts coming out of the northeast. And we are headed south. So we're headed with the wind a little bit, and it's about 85 degrees. The truck's saying 88 degrees. You know, we do have the air conditioner and the air conditioned seats running, because that's real life. You're going to use that stuff when you're on a trip. Stability wise, like we were saying, you feel a little bit of the bumpiness, like the suspension, but definitely not the side to side. And the further down the road we're getting, I mean, it just feels real solid. Yeah, behind the truck.
It's a little bit like kind of floaty, how a normal truck would necessarily feel when it was loaded down.
Oh, we got a 1.1. I wish it gave us another number. Can I get an additional digit, please? So it's interesting because you make these not assumptions, but you make your predictions about what you think the car will do when you're waiting to get it and stuff. And we were thinking maybe it could do a little bit over the like 150 mile range, maybe like 175, but today it's looking probably like it's gonna be about that 150 range, so it's...
Which is what Ford and all them predicted or said it would do. So,
yeah.
I mean, but I thought since it was a Airstream, a little bit more aerodynamic than other trailers, but we're not even halfway done with the test, so it's hard to really compare it quite yet.
It's first thoughts.
Yeah.
This thing yells at you for your hands not being on the wheel more than the Tesla did.
I know, we might have to rename this drama queen too.
It's not beeping this time. There it is, okay. Up to 1.2. We'll see if this holds for any period of time. At our turnaround spot, and we're hanging on to the 1.2.
Initially, when we first were ordering the Lightning, I thought honestly it would do a lot better, not to compare to the Rivian, but then the Rivian, just because it's a bigger vehicle. And so this is maybe indicating 5-10% better consumption than the Rivian. You add that 5-10% better efficiency and then 5% increase on usable battery, and that gives you, some more range. Maybe, I don't know off the top of my head, but maybe 20 extra miles or something. So, which is beneficial when you're talking about towing and you're talking about only being able to get 150 miles or something on a charge.
So the other thing to note is that when we purchase our trucks, we get them for the features that we want, which in our case, even towing a lot, knowing that's what we're going to use the trucks for, we do not option them to be the most efficient choice that you can get. So that being said, we have the Platinum, so it has more features that are drawing power. It probably weighs more, I'm assuming, all that kind of stuff. And then what you told me the sizes, and it already went out of my head.
So we have the 22-inch tires, which Ford is saying is about a 10% decrease in range. And so if you actually have the 20s on here, which I wouldn't mind putting the 20s on here, I don't think they look bad or anything. If it would increase the range 10%, I mean, that could be, another 15 miles or so. So this is worst case scenario on the Ford Lightning. Unless you put some big monstrous tires on there, then that's your own deal, which would look cool. But
yeah.
So if you have 20s, you want to loan me for a little bit to do a range test, I would love to do that.
Yeah, who's got some 20s? We are on the home stretch and she's still just settled in at the 1.2. How do you feel about the 1.2?
I think that'll mean that it does about 153, 4, something like that. As long as, from the videos that I've seen, the usable battery pack in this is 131 kilowatt hour. Initially, when I was looking at these vehicles, I thought this one would do, well, we're going 65 now. I thought initially this one would do 175 with our trailer, so it is less than I thought, but after watching other people tow, I kind of assumed it would do roughly 140, so maybe it's a little bit better than I thought. So
let me put that into quick terms. Yes, we're happy with where it's sitting with the range as of right now. And I mean, we only have, maybe a mile or so to go, a couple miles. We're pulling in. Stuck with the 1.2. Do you need some time to do some calculations still?
I don't think so. We got 1.2 miles per kilowatt hour. We went 40 miles at that 55. So it says we could go 157 miles on 100% charge at 55 miles an hour. I think that's a good baseline. The faster you go, obviously, the less you're going to get. If you need to get a little extra range, you slow down. For the most part, you will be able to stay in that 0 to 80% of the battery, because that'll roughly be about 120, 125 miles, and most chargers have that in between them. That's where you want to keep in the meat of the battery, where it's going to charge at the higher rate. So happy with that. I'm not impressed by it. I'm just happy with it. So.
Yeah. It's kind of what we expected, and as long as we can get to the next charger, that's the biggest and most important thing.
And the charger works.
Yeah, and then the charger works, so you're not having to drive 45 miles an hour. We'll link that one in the iCard for you. Obviously, we have a lot of stuff coming up with this truck. We want to take this truck on the same trip out to Colorado that we took with our Rivian. We'll link that one in the iCard too, because, I mean, we just want to see the difference. Like, how is the charging different when you're on a road trip like that? What does it tow like? We also have the Charged Rally coming up, so if you haven't heard about that, go click the link in the description below, because it is a rally. We're going to all go camping together for EV owners that tow an RV with their cars. And even if you don't have your EV or your RV yet, we still want you to come. So be sure to click that link in the description below and get signed up. The camping spots are limited, so make sure to sign up sooner rather than later if you're wanting to camp at the campground with us.
More to come. Appreciate you guys watching.
Yeah. We'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye.